Hylas fucking wipes out and slides and he lands on the side and he rolls on the ground. And I was like, hey, you had that bottle in your pocket? And he's like going like this and he's like pulling out broken glass, like kind of pulling his pocket out like that. And I was like, oh, you cut your leg. Same thing happened to my brother. I bet your leg's cut. And he was just like, no, I feel like I'm all right. And I'm like, no, check. And he's like getting back on his bike and he puts his leg over. He's about to pedal off. I was like, all right, let's just check and see. Because you could be cut. And he's like, and he fucking pulls his pants down. There was like a cut like this big. It looked like he chopped up white sandwich bread and put ketchup on it and like squeeze it out of your mouth a little bit. And like a little bit of like clear blood leaked down. And then he pulls his pants down a little more, like, oh shit. And then there was like another little cut like that big and it was gushing out blood. The whole big one wasn't bleeding that bad, just one little drip. And then there's like a little cut right here and it's like squirting out like. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, because
like
Tom swerved at him?
Yeah, because they were on their bikes and we were dipping hella fast on Sunset Road. And Haas was in between the curb and the gutter.
Oh, okay.
And Tom was in the street and he swerved at him right next to him. Like
just
that.
to mess with him?
Yeah. And Hylas fucking like that and kind of ate it because his tire was like hitting the curb and then I was like, whoa. And he tumbled like that on his side, you know. And I skated on my bike and watched him do it and then Tom left us. And then fucking Hylas like was all fucked up and then Tom's like, what? And I'm like, he's fucking cut. He's fucking cut. And Hylas was like about to faint, like, oh shit, call it on. And then a truck driver came by, flatbed truck, and he's like, I seen you guys wreck. Are you all right? And I was like, no, call 911. Or can I call your mom? And at 564-0400, whatever it used to be, 6646. Fucking, I called him and I'm like, Darlene, run. Sunset Road, Hylas crashed and cut his leg open. And they got here so quick, you know, your grandma and grandpa fucking dead.
What car were they driving?
And like a little fucking Toyota Sentra or something, little.
The white car?
Sentra or something. It was like a little white car.
Yeah, with black wheels?
I can't remember. It was an old one though. And then it ran good. And then they pulled up. And they skated. And the ambulance is coming this way. And the fire truck. And then they put the house in the car and they dipped around the ambulance. And they pulled up. They're like, where's he at? And I'm like, he just left in that car. They're like, oh fuck. Do you guys need us to stay here? And I'm like, no. And then the ambulance went this way and the fire truck went that way because he's on the wrong side of the road. And then I was just sitting there with Hylas' bike. And I went and threw it over the fucking bushes and hit it in some bushes. And I took off. And then I got to the fucking house. And then, like 2 hours later, I came back with some pictures of Hylas in the hospital, all fucking with the IV and stitches. They gave him like ice cream and shit.
And he's flipping off the camera.
Yeah, he's all fucked up.
How old was y'all?
We was probably like 18 or 19.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Right before all that shit.
I can't believe my dad had a kid at 21. To think about, like, that's if I had a kid right now.
It was so weird too, man. Your mom was looking for your mom went by my house and seen my sister and was like, hey, how's it going? How's Brody? She's like, oh, he's good. And Jolene was like, where's he at? And she's like, he's at his friend Hylas' on Barry. So she drove down the street and me and Hylas were outside playing catch. And she was like, oh, hey, what's up? And then she's like, oh, what's up with your friend Hylas? So I'm just like, what? You guys know each other? I was like, who's fucking that? And then Hylas was talking to Rose. You remember Rose?
Yeah, I remember the black skin.
Yeah, the little Mexican chick, Rosa Marie. She lived down the street. She was in the room.
Oh,
and Hylas was like, man, there's bitches up in here. Then fucking Selena came in and out crazy to her. I was like, hey, you better get out of here. Fucking, you better not be giving Hylas anything. Rose just fucking left. And she gave me $5 to sell some weed, and she fucking left. And Jillian just never left the room after that. She was like, Rose got up, and your mom sat down. So next thing you know, I came in. I was like, what's the smell in here? Yeah, I've been doing something funny. We're like sweat. I was like, oh shit, Hylas, what'd you do? And then next thing you know, Jillian just never left, man. I'm like, what? All because my sister told her that I was over here.
So she knew you from middle school?
Yeah, I know your mom since a long time ago. She's her cousin Crystal.
Yeah.
Freshwood.
Yeah.
I know her. That's my original friend. And then Crystal's like, oh, that's my cousin. And Jody and Jamie. That's her cousins too. And then my friend Antonia, Sophia, and Crystal, and Corey, and Tila, my 5 homegirls from this church I used to go to when I was a kid. We used to go to camp and shit, and it was fun. And fucking Jelena was just there at the end walking around. She was always this super short little girl, always there, but she just wanted to be in everybody's business, you know. And fucking, so we just knew who she was. And then as we got older, you know, kids started being kids, so we just started hanging out. And then Black Al, you got born, dog. I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
That's this little baby kid. He used to always want to eat on my shoulder. You'd be like, Brody. Because you knew a lot of words, but you didn't talk a lot when you were just a little baby. Like, you could walk fast, and then you'd be like, Brody, can I get up on your shoulder? And I'd be like, yeah, all right. And you'd get up and you'd climb and you'd sit on my shoulder with your feet right here. And then you'd be like, hey, you got some chips or something? And I go, yeah. And you'd be like, hey, all right, I'm going to act like a bird, and you're going to feed them to me. Like, go like this. Like, probably want a cracker, and I'd go like this, and you'd be like, and I would like eat your chips. I'd be eating chips, and then you'd be like my bird. You were like my bird on my shoulder, and you loved it. You were like,
Bro, I swear I remember like
you were like, fucking, and then fucking one day you were like on my head, and everybody's laughing. I'm like, what the fuck are everybody laughing about? You're just sitting up there, because I was so used to you sitting up there. And then I look over and your diaper's on the ground. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look up and your butt cheeks are right on top of my head. And your nutsack's like this on my fucking head. And your legs are like this, you know. And I look up, I'm like, what the fuck? Nutsack on my heartless. And I threw you off. And you're like, I'm like, and everybody's like, you didn't know his diaper was off? And I was like, fuck no, man. They were like, oh my God, I thought that was so crazy, you just let him do that. And I was like, no, man. Baby guys don't be doing that shit. We were just like, and it was like a pull-up one, you know. You just pull it off and take it off. I was like, man, this little kid, how long was he up there, man? I gotta go take a shower, man. But like all the girls were laughing, like fucking Kelly and Darlene and everybody. And you were just like, man, that's my homie, dog. That ain't nothing. He don't mind if I put my ass on his head. That's cool. And I'm just like, no, we're not cool like that. But you were just like, oh, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Like the way you were acting. It was just so funny.
Try to play it off, bro. We almost got away with it.
And then sometimes when Jace was a little stud, he used to get girls. And I would tell you, hey, you better be nice to Jace. I was like, watch, one day Jason's gonna be 16 and he's gonna be in the back of a convertible with 3 bitches, and there's gonna be a girl driving, and that front seat you could have jumped in and hopped in, but he's gonna act like he didn't hear you. You're like, oh, Jason. And I was like, because sometimes like if we were mean to him, I tell him, man, you gotta be nice to Jason, because one day he's gonna get the girls and he's gonna need some help. You want him to tell you to come with you. Like, he's gonna be in the back with the 2 of them, and you're gonna be in the front seat with the driver.
You would also say,
and I'd always try to like get you to like make sure you're cool with him, because I had an older brother, but we weren't cool like that.
For real?
You know, yeah, like he would have left without me and shit. Like he would have had a party to go to, he would have just took off and left, and I'd have been like, hey, what the fuck? Why do you smell like cologne and your hair combed? Oh, you're going to a party? Fuck, you didn't even tell me. But like I wanted you guys to be like not like that. Like I wanted you guys to be like, you know, like we're gonna go kick it. Let's go kick it together, you know. Because it'd be hard for someone to kick both your asses. You know what I mean? Remember when you guys fought those 2 kids at the playground when you were little kids? That they were trying to mess with Tommy or something, or Hunter.
Tommy.
And you guys came back and they were like, Butch and Darlene were like, oh, you guys fought some black kids or something. You guys were hella little.
Yeah.
You and Jace fucked them up.
Little Tommy was doing his stuff.
Something happened, like, and then, but I remember Butch was like, oh, they can handle their own shit. They handled Tommy's shit, too. And I was
Tommy
thinking,
was fighting back.
but it'd take 2 strong-ass fools to kick you and Jason's ass back in the day. Like, if you guys were like, you know, when you guys were like 10, 11, like, it would have to be some little kids. Because you guys knew so many MMA moves.
I would give Justin
Especially
Mary
Jace. You knew all those leg locks and arm bars and shit and Kimuras. You knew what like guillotine chokes were and all that shit. And you guys would do them.
Bro, we were playing like UFC.
Yeah,
UFC
like, for real.
one or
I
something.
remember I used to give Justin Barry problems. He was like 3 years older than me. He already hit puberty, and I hadn't even hit
And
puberty.
Jace never gave up because Jace was so strong. It took a lot for him to cry. But sometimes you get him crying, but and no one else was gonna be able to make Jace cry like that. You know, I was like, man, it was like, especially the age. You know, you were always so much older. But I was like, if Jace goes to school and if he actually goes head to head with a kid his age, he's gonna go right through him because he was going up against your ass. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And then the day you were gonna go up to someone your size, you were gonna really feel it. Like, oh, this is way different than Jace. You know what I mean? This fool's big too now, but Jace was gonna be like, oh, that's all you got, man? Watch this. How you like that? How's your elbow like that? Oh, we'd be like, fucking get him with the elbow bar or some weird ass shoulder fucking lock. And we'd be having to stop you guys. And I remember I'd grab your hand and act like I was gonna slap it. You'd be like, oh shit. And you'd stop. And I'd just give you the eye, like, motherfucker. I like I was gonna slap your hand. And I never had to. I did it once when you were a little kid, kind of hard. And then you just kind of looked at me like, with your lip, like,
I always did that face. I don't know why.
you had your bandana on, you were wearing like a basketball jersey with like some fucking tie-dye shirt and shit. You had your style all hard. And I remember I just grabbed your hand like, hi, you know, be nice to your little brother. You'd be like, okay. And they'd be like, how do you get him to listen? And I'm like, well, I got him one time before, but we were so cool, you just didn't want to disappoint me. You know, you were just like, man, I don't want Brody mad at me at all. I'm just going to do what he said. He's an adult, I'm a kid, but I just don't want him mad at the end of the day. And that's kind of how Jace was with me, too. Like, I never had to raise my voice at you guys. And I never had to tell you twice. Like, especially if it was just something simple as, oh, can you pick that trash up? You guys would just do it. But as soon as the Ice Cream Man came, I would buy you guys some shit, and you guys would be all happy, like, oh shit, SpongeBob ice cream, hell yeah, you know, like fucking. You guys are just like 3-4-year-old kids, and I would get you whatever you wanted from the store, hot fries or fucking candies,
The best.
you know what I'm saying, just shit like that. But
That's crazy.
that's like when I took these guys shopping last year. Like I always wanted to do something like that with them. Remember that was kind of fun, but you ended up getting sick.
Bro,
Yeah, I got sick the next day too. I got what you got the next day. I was all fucking hot and sweating in my bed for 24 hours.
Did you
I
throw
was
up?
literally like trying to fall asleep in the bathroom because I wasn't trying to go back to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you throw up?
Yeah, I threw up and I took a shit at the same time.
No, me too. When I got back,
Like luckily the tub was there because I was on the toilet going, and then I threw up in the tub.
I don't know what that was.
I was like,
That
fuck,
a
I got what
regular
Jace
flu.
got.
That was not a regular flu.
Because we went shopping. I took I took me and Richard and Kylan and Jace. We took my car and we went shopping. I took them to the Q Mall. To the fashion, One Stop Fashion. And they got a bunch of Pro Club shit. And then Jace really didn't find nothing. And I think we went to Burlington. It was kind of whack. And then you wanted to go to that fucking place up there in the
Town sweater.
yeah. And you found a nice ass sweater and
I got
shit.
some nice pajamas. I still
Yeah.
got it.
Oh yeah, you got the pajama shit and everything, yeah. And then you
got a
fucking,
shirt. Oh, yeah, I got a Spider-Man shirt too. Still got
Yeah.
that.
and then fucking, I think Baby Richard got some cologne. Kylan bought a bunch of Pro Club shit, Tupac shirt, purple, Pro Club, white, fucking. I got them hoodies and shit. And then we went to go eat at fucking In-N-Out, and you didn't even want nothing. He was just all fucked up in the back, like, fuck. Oh yeah, when we were at that, what's that place called where you got the sweater?
Abercrombie.
Yeah, when we were at that fucking
I
shopping
didn't
mall.
even make it in the store.
There was like outside bathrooms and shit, and then he was like, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom," and we were out there having fun, me and Richard kind of talking shit to the airplanes because they go over real close right there and shit. We were all fucking around. And it was like an hour, and this fool never came out. I'm like, "Where's the fuck was he at?" And then he just didn't even look good. He came out, you were like, "Well, your face was just fuck. I want to go home." You were like, "I need a Powerade or Gatorade or something." I was like, "All right." We stopped and got you this Gatorade, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna stay in the car." We went and ate at then fucking when we came home, he just went right there in the bathroom. And then I went home. And the next day, we had a big date planned that we were gonna have a bonfire. And a bunch of people came over. And then I just didn't even want to get out of my bed. I was like, ugh. And I was warm, but as soon as I got out, I felt cold. Like, fuck, I need to hold my body cover. I turned the heater on. They had a little space heater on too, and turned that on. And then my friend Richard's like, hey, everybody's here now. You want to come out? We're getting a bonfire ready. And I was like, oh, I'll be out there in a little while. I just fucking let them on all night long, and I'm sick. I threw up. I was like, fuck.
I got that gator. We were on our way to In-N-Out. Right when we got to In-N-Out, went to the bathroom. Straight through it, all of it. Instantly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that shit sucked, man. I was like, fuck. But you had went to New Mexico, remember, wherever you had to go.
Man, where the hell were you at?
He went out of town because he was only here for like 1 or 2 days after the funeral. And you were like, I'm going to go do this job. And I was like, fuck.
As soon as I got back, I did literally. As soon as I got back, I woke up. It was just instant. I threw up. Like I don't know what was. I don't know what that was.
Everybody, it went around because your Uncle Richard had it. Because remember I came that day, your Uncle Richard was sleeping on the couch for like 2 days straight. He was just laying there with his legs like that, all fucked up.
Pretty normal.
And I came and let back and forth, and he was still in the same spot. And I was asking Kylie, I was like, your dad been like that the whole time? She's like, yeah, he hasn't even woken up.
That's crazy.
And then when we came back, they were like, your mom was, or your grandma was saying that somebody, they took him to the UMC or something. I was like, what? Or Quick Care or something. I was like, fuck, is that bad? And then you got sick, and then I got sick.
It was bad.
I know, I was like,
I
fuck.
don't know what that was. That was a different type of flu.
It was like a stomach virus.
Yeah. It was
Went
bad.
right through you. 24-hour bug for sure. And then the next day I was all good. I drank some fluids and went to the bathroom normal. I was like, oh shit.
Next day I was straight.
That shit sucked.
I was straight.
But it was just fun, like at least trying to do something with you guys like that. Cause if you guys never would have moved away, you know, things would have been way different, you know.
That's crazy. I remember living in Minnesota. It was like a whole different world. It's crazy.
Snowy? Was it
It
snowing?
was weird.
Different fucking speed limits, different fucking.
We saw no
Restaurant.
neighbors the whole time we were there though.
Yeah, it felt like there was no one there.
It was like we were in a
Like,
ghost
in our
town.
neighborhood, there's no one.
But in the shopping center, it'd be packed. But like the neighborhood, we see nobody.
Whoa.
It was weird.
No kids or nothing?
Even like we would like go out ride bikes one time.
Ride bikes
that,
for like 2 hours straight. You see nobody.
It was weird.
It was
Fuck, we had the whole town to yourselves.
We were just wondering where everyone was.
Like it was weird because in Vegas everybody's outside. Oh wait,
The only time we ever seen anyone was like after it's like a tornado almost came through. After that, there were like people out looking at like damages. Other than that,
oh yeah, there was.
nobody.
It was like, oh shit, my fucking telephone pole fell down.
No, they had like trees on their cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, damn. Like I ain't never seen something like that.
Oh, I know, that was me when I went to Washington, the same thing, trees would fall. But we had to go around a different block or something. What the fuck? And finally you see a bunch of people out there cutting it and putting it on the side of the road, and then you can finally go drive by. You can still drive by and see those same pieces of tree all cut, no one ever moved it. I'm like, fuck.
That's another question I have to ask. How did my Uncle Richard break his leg on that quad? And then how good of an arm wrestler was my dad back in the day?
He was good. Fucking, I could beat him sometimes, but I didn't arm wrestle him a lot.
Yeah,
But
he's good for his size.
I just didn't have to arm wrestle him, but he could beat everybody else. And
That's crazy.
then when Richard, he went on the back of the four-wheel with this other kid named Richard.
Bad combination.
It was like they were jumping the four-wheel on going backwards on the dirt bike track. And when he jumped the jump, Richard's leg fell off and went underneath the back tire, and the dude didn't know, and he kept going. And they dragged Richard underneath and sucked him down. Broke his fucking femur.
Ooh, what?
And then he fucking comes up and he's crawling on the ground. He's like crawling on the ground.
Into the house?
Yeah, right up the neighbors right here where the brick wall starts.
Yeah.
There was no fence yet. It just went right to the
It
dirt.
was just
He comes crawling up. I crashed on a scooter.
Why?
We're like, what? He's like, yeah, the little razor. I just was like this, and I went off the sidewalk into the street, and I crashed, and my leg fucking went awkward. Went a different way. I heard a pop.
Yeah, crawl that way. Solid.
And he's all fucking sweating. He's all dirty. We're like, yeah, right. How's that gonna do you like this if you were just on like a little push scooter, a little razor with the fucking rollerblade wheels, those chrome ones, you know, just right off the sidewalk into the street, and you crashed and did all this. Like, me and Haas were like, bullshit. But your fucking grandma believed him, and they took him to the hospital, broken leg. They put a cast all the way up to his fucking hip. And he was just fucking in a wheelchair. First day on his wheelchair, he falls back and flips it. They had to pick him back up and put him on there. He's all fucked up on the pills. They were giving him pain pills and shit.
That's crazy.
But your Uncle Richard was crazy. When I first met him, he was like that fucking crazy little monkey brother. Fucking zipping around the couch. He was hitting the wall like a half pipe, like a berm. He was running on the wall in the back of the couch. I'm like, damn, Hollis, what the fuck is up with your little brother? He's like, oh, he's crazy. Crazy. So he was always crazy. He'd barge in the room, grab a controller, change the game. I'm playing this. We're like, fuck, we're almost done with that, you know. Thanks for knocking, fuck. He'd take off on his bike. He'd be gone all fucking day. 10 minutes before the fucking street lights come on, he come riding up and shit. We're like, man, you're fucking crazy, dog. We've been looking for you all fucking day. And then one day they got him on medication. They gave him like some Adderall.
Oh shit.
And they took it, and he was like a robot. Me and Haas are in the back room playing Tony Hawk in here. We're like, who is it? He's like, it's me, Richard. We're like, what?
That's crazy.
Come in. He comes in, sits down on the ground. I got next. We're like, what? Ain't you supposed to rip the controller out of our hands and fucking put it in your own game? Quit acting like a robot. Richard, play the fucking game. Take it. No, I'll just wait on my turn. He had this weirdest look on his face. Like he didn't know who he was. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he would go on his bike, Dad, I'm gonna go ride my bike to the park. I'll be back in 1 hour. Like not even an hour go by, he'd come back, Dad, I was just coming to check in. I told you I'd come back in an hour. I'm gonna go back to the park. And he'd leave again. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not even Richard. I was like, I don't like him on that fucking shit.
Yeah.
And then your fucking grandma, and then finally took it off after Richard was like a zombie for like a month on it. And then they took him off, and then fucking, he was back, fucking. I was like, there he is. I thought we lost you, dog. Well, I like you way better like that, you know, because he was just fucking like medicated bad. But he stopped taking it. I don't think he ever took it after that. And he's just been crazy, Uncle Crazy Richard since. But that shit was crazy to me when he came and asked to play next, and he knocked on the door.
So he would never ask.
He would always just barge right in, just take the control out of our hands.
What room?
Change that back room.
Which
Jason's
one?
room.
That's crazy.
That used to be your dad's room. We smoked weed in there. And then that, the other room right there, one time your Uncle Tommy used to live in that first room.
Yeah.
And then I just lived in the back room. And your grandma's room used to just be one room. Because that back room wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
So that was the back of your grandma's room wall. It was just one big room. And then they fucking added that door and walled it off. And they shortened Butch's room. And then they took the closet and left it in your room. And then
Where was like Little Richard?
little Richard just sleep on the couch and shit. He was in the garage. There was a bed in there and B.O.B. over there. And one time, me and my friend little Ricky and Tom and Cuz Justin, you guys' cousin Justin,
Yeah.
they were in the room chilling. And my friend little Ricky, he always grew up around guns.
Oh
And he always talked about gun safety, to be careful because you could shoot somebody. And then fucking Cuz had a little pistol, a little tiny like 22.
That's crazy.
And little Ricky's like, hey man, you guys better be careful. This shit could hurt somebody at any moment. He shoots Cuz right through the leg. Ah!
Damn.
Cuz jumps up in that room. Ah, wow, you hit me. You hit me. He's hopping around. What do I do? Oh, ooh. It was so funny. Oh, Tom jumps out the window and he runs. We're waiting for fucking your grandma to come in and bust us. Like, what the fuck? And no one ever came in. And fucking, they looked at us a bullet hole in the couch and went right through his fucking cab, through the front, through the back. Like a pencil went right through. It was like a hole. You could see it. It was black. The hole was black and it burned. Like it burned through like fucking black soot. And then Ricky's like, see, I told you. Guns are dangerous, man. Guns are dangerous. And we're like, fuck, Rick. Like, of all people, you were always mentoring us in the be safe and shit. And he squeezed it off and then fucking went off. And I was like, fuck. I don't think nobody ever knows. But we shot Cuz. Cuz got shot right there by my friend. Right there in that first room. He's all fucking funny guy.
What do you do? You go to the doctor?
You know, he wrapped it up with a fucking ace bandage and gauze and he walked it off. He walked it off. And then like a week later he opened up the wrap and it was like a big yellow fucking scab. It like, kept it wet. Like he kept putting like some type of ointment on there to where it never let it scab up.
Yeah.
But it was like a yellowish like snot looking little fucking
Pus.
like where the scab would be, but he never let it dry. So it stayed all like fucking nasty ass, like a pus fucking scab on both sides. And I was like, ugh. He used to push on at the side and it would leak a little bit. And I'm like, oh fuck, he wiped it. I'm like, damn, cuz you need to go get the fucking what's it called? Fucking tetanus shot. And he'd be like, no, it's good. I keep it clean. I wash it with soap, and I'm just like, fuck.
I'll never forget when my dad took me to the hospital after your quad crash and I saw your elbow. And it was all
hell
red.
yeah, when it came in the room.
Yeah, it's like a giant pimple. Like, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I was probably only
yeah.
like 3 or 4.
Yeah, you did come in the hospital and see me.
I was like, no. I was like, I thought you were like hurt for like, well, you were hurt, but I thought you were like,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, Brody Dunzo.
I remember that.
I was sad, but
You came in, yeah. I remember when you came in the door, you didn't want to come in.
yeah, I was scared.
No, Jace didn't want to come in.
I was
Jace
scared.
didn't want to come in the room. That's what it was. You came in and Jace was looking at me through the door like, is that you in there? I was like, come in, dog. And you were like, looking around the room like, who else is in this motherfucker?
That was from the
I was like, it's
450.
just me, come in. And you were all quiet. Jace was like, fuck, Brody's hurt.
Yeah.
And then you were like talking to me on the side. I remember when
Yo,
Jace stayed over there.
I was looking at you up on the hospital.
I do remember that shit. And then like, I tore my brachial plexus nerve in my neck, and I tore my tricep. I broke my rib. I blew my knee, my ankle, and my wrist. I fucked up my whole left side.
From that crash?
Yeah. I turned down Pavco.
This was on the 450,
yeah,
right?
because I was just gonna get brand new tires the next day. My tires were real bald in the back. I was gonna pay like $300 for this new set. So I wanted to see how big of a difference it made. So I felt like if I go riding right now, the shorter time from when I put the new ones on and ride, I could tell the difference of how much more grip it was gonna be. So I was like, I'm gonna get them on in the morning. I'll go riding at night so I get a good feel. And then when I put the new ones on in the morning, there wasn't that much time in between, so I can get like, oh, this is way better. That's what I thought in my head. But I went out there and I crashed. And there was construction on the side of Pavco. And the gate was like that, and the road was like this, and the light poles going down towards Sunset, and that fence was all the way down, and they piled up a bunch of dirt to where the bottom, where the fence was at, that pile of dirt went through the bottom to where it was going through like the bottom links of the gate, to where if you wanted all that dirt, you'd have to get on the other side and push it back through the fence, because there was nowhere to go. Like if you were gonna walk around it, you'd have to hold the fence and like walk on that dirt and go, and it was shaped like a pyramid. And they put it right there on my track. And I drove by those guys twice that day. I went inside the fence. I went riding 3 times that day. And when I came back, they told me, no, go around. But I just did past them. And then they were like, okay, we're going to put some dirt on this trail so when he comes back, he'll fucking have to go around it. But I didn't even see it until the last second because I didn't think it was there. So I got on the Pavco. I turned left. I started smashing that dirt to get the feel, because it would pill out more because it was bald. So, and I looked up, right when I looked up, I seen that pile of dirt, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I tried to turn, and boom, I just jumped it to nothing, to flat ground. Like when I hit the jump, boom.
How big was
and
the
I was flying
pile?
through the air like this. And my bike turned and I flew off this way. And then my bike landed on the dirt, and when I was in the air, I was upside down, my feet were in the air. I seen the ground coming, I had a helmet on. I tried to put my hand out to try to like brace because I was flying through the air upside down. And I put my hand out, and then my hand bent, and my elbow came into my ribs, and I smashed in the ground. My own elbow broke my ribs from all that force. And then my head hit the ground. It broke my helmet. I slid on the ground, and I slid, and I caught the sidewalk, and it torqued my knee. Like I had my butt in the air, and I was sliding backwards on my knees, and my fucking foot hit the curb, and it like jerked my leg, and that's when it tore my kneecap. So I blew my PCL ligament, my lateral collateral ligament in my knee.
You're sliding my stick.
Yeah, I'm sliding backwards, and my foot caught the gutter on this side of the boulder, or Pepco, where the wall is, and I ragdolled. And I slid, I would slide, and then my body would catch, and I'd roll, and I'd slide. I was awake the whole time, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I tried to, my shoulder hurt so bad, I was like, fuck, my arm. And I reached up, and I feel my hair through my helmet.
That's
And I was
crazy.
like, wait, what the
I would've
fuck?
been
How come that's my hair, and it was all broken. There was styrofoam coming out and shit, and I was barely holding on. It was all shaking on my head, because it was all in pieces. And then the cop pulls right up. Are you all right? And I'm like, fuck no, I'm not all right. He's like, how'd you get over here? I said, I crawled. I fucking just wrecked. That's my folder right there. I just wrecked on that fucking dirt hill down. He's like, all the way down there? Because it was a long distance from where I hit, and where I slid, boom, boom, and where I ended up. It was far. And I could tell, oh, you really? And he was like, did you hit that pole? And I was like, no, I hit that dirt mound. And he was like, fuck. And I was like, hey, can you flip my folder over? And the fucking, some dude, he didn't want to flip my folder over because it was upside down.
Yeah.
And then some dude like seen it, and he like jogs up. And the tires were still moving because it was running upside down. And he flipped the folder over, and it fucking did like a little wheelie and popped and stalled down to the gate. And when he flipped it on, the tires were spinning. It was like, "Brr." And I was like, thank you. And the cop's like, why are you worried about your folder, man? You're all fucked up. And I was just like, I'll be all right. And he was like, and I was like, well, now I can't move my arm. And I was like, my leg's fucked up. Oh. And then I could only move it a couple times, and then like went numb, and I couldn't even move nothing. I was like, well, I got a cell phone in my pocket, if you can get it, because I couldn't reach with my right hand into my left pocket. Like, fuck. I was too big, and I was in too much pain. So he took my cell phone out, and then he calls you Butch. And I was like, Butch, I crashed on Palco. Can you come get my folder? And the cop's like, why are you so worried about your folder? Is it stolen or something? I was like, no, it's just a hella good one. I know I'm gonna not be able to ride away. I'm not gonna be able to ride it away. I'm all fucked up. He's like, so do you need an ambulance? I'm like, yeah. They come get my folder, your dad and Richard and your grandpa, and the ambulance comes and gets me, and he's like, hey, you're hella big. I'm gonna give you some shit for pain. And I'm laying there on the ground still, and they put the stretcher underneath me. They roll me on the stretcher, and he picks me up, and he goes to put me in the ambulance, and he's like tapping me on my head. He's like, you feel that? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. And they close the doors, and he's like, I'm gonna give you a shot, and I'm gonna tap you on the head, and then I'm gonna start administering the shot, and when you can not feel me tap your head, tell me. And I was like, so you're tapping my head right now? And he's like, yeah, do you feel it? And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, I'm tapping you on the head. And I was like, well, I can't feel it. I haven't felt it in a long time. And he's like, oh, shit, you were supposed to tell me, you know? And I was just like, well, fuck, I didn't even know you were doing it. And he was squishing that morphine shit down into my IV. And I was all fucked up. I was like, oh, shit, my arm really didn't hurt that bad. It just, everything went warm. Wherever I was hurt, it felt like they were pouring like warm water on it. And there was no more pain. And my tricep was torn. I tore my tricep right here. And fucking, it hurt hella bad. I was like, fuck, I thought I broke my arm. And when I was on that gurney, my arms were kind of hanging off because I was so wide.
Yeah.
And it took everything for me to kind of hold it up. And I told him, hey, can you put some pressure on my arm and hold my arm up? I can't, it's dangling and it hurts. And we started going down Sunset. And we were going to that UMC on 215 in Eastern, that big hospital, St. Rose, Sienna. So you get off on the freeway right there, you go down to the 95 to 215, and you do 215 all the way to Eastern. And then I was all fucked up. We were getting on the 215 and the gravity, you know, kind of like feels like that when we're turning. I told him, oh shit, are we getting on the 215? And I couldn't see nothing because I'm looking at the roof. And the dude looks out and he's like, I think we are. How'd you know that? And I was like, well, I felt us go down Sunset and I felt us turn on the 95 and we went real quick. And then now it feels like we're getting on the 215. And he was like, exactly where we are. And then like, right when we got off on the Eastern, I was like, are we getting off on Eastern now? And he's like, damn, how do you know where we're going? When you're looking, you can't even see out the window. I was like, I just feel it. I can just feel all the turns, you know, like if you're gonna go to Boulder Highway and you turn like on Lake Mead, you're like, fuck, you could feel all that, you know? And I was all fucked up, and we get to the hospital, and the ambulance get me to the nurses, and he tells them, oh, he likes a lot of pressure on his arm, he thinks his arm's broke. And then the big ass black dude comes up and he's like this, and he pushes my arm hella hard. Damn. And it felt hella good. I was like, oh, like that. Oh, that fool's a bitch. He was scared to fucking hurt me or something. You're making your money, dog. I was like, you're getting paid. I was telling the black dude, dog, you're making money. You're earning your check. That fool was scared. Yeah, like push it like that. And he like was fresh muscled, you know. He was like, and then they took me in there. They cut off my shorts, and I was like, no, because they were expensive ass fucking shorts. These Echo shorts, I paid like $80 for. Damn. I was like, man, I'm never gonna find those again. And I was like, you didn't have to cut those off. Like, I'm just gonna be in here for like a couple hours. You're gonna let me go? Like, I didn't know how fucked up I was, you know. I didn't know my ribs were broken. I didn't know I didn't break my arm. It come out to be torn tricep. They're like, oh, your arm's not broke, but you tore your muscle. I was like, oh fuck, that's why it hurts so bad. I was like, why can't move my arm? Why is it like paralyzed? They're like, oh, you tore your brachial plexus nerve. It's the nerve from your brain that controls the left side of your arm, you know. And I couldn't feel nothing when they were touching it. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't move just my wrist. So like I would climb up my shirt like this, and I would hold on to my keys just to look normal. But if I let it go, it just dangled. I was like, fuck, my shit's fucked up. I used to have to like pick it up and hold it up on shit just to kind of look normal for a little bit because it was so fucked up. It took me 6 months before I was able to brush my teeth. It took me 8 months before I was able to put my hand on my head and wash my hair.
That's crazy.
And then I would still have problems going like that. Like I couldn't fucking reach my left side without turning my ear because I couldn't get my elbow up. Like it was like this motion or this motion I couldn't do. And then I got my elbow back after like a couple of months, and then about 8 months I was able to go like this and then like extend it, you know, because it was so fucked up. And then when I was in the hospital, they fucking cut my clothes off, and then some girl grabs my dick and she put some jelly on it. I'm like, what are you doing? What the fuck is that? And she was like, you're about to get a catheter. I was like, why? I don't want one of those. I was like, give me a regular one. That thing's big, because it was like this thick. It was like as big as a Jack in the Box straw. And I said, I don't want that one. Give me a smaller one. I just regular.
Yeah.
I ain't fucking Tyrone. And she's like, well, we get the same size for everybody. And I was like, everybody? She was like, yeah, even the kids. I was like, fuck them poor kids. That's gonna destroy a nigga's pee hole. I was like, fuck. She was like, I gotta do it. Lay back. And they laid me all the way back. And then they start putting it in. I was like, oh, and I arced like a fucking cradle. Oh. They're like, stop flexing your prostate. I'm like, what the fuck is a prostate? I'm flexing everything. Oh. I was like flexing my chest and my arm. I'm like trying not to flex. Like what? And then they're putting in like, they put in like this far. Damn. And then they fill up with like some syringe with fluid in your bladder that can't come out. And I was like, man, fuck, this shit fucking hurts. Why do you guys do this to me? I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and then they told me, okay, the only way you're gonna be able to get out is you gotta take a shit, and you gotta be able to get up off the bed by yourself. And I was like, so I had to lay down flat, and I had to get up, and I was like, okay. And it hurt so bad to do. I used to fucking cry in the shower, just from getting my bed to the shower, because I was so sore. I'd be in the bathroom crying sometimes, like, oh. And the nurse would be like, are you alright? I'm like, no. I'm in so much pain. I need fucking another pill. They would give me a pill. It would fucking help a lot. But then as soon as like it starts to wear off, I'd be like, you guys need to come like every 4 hours because this shit fucking hurts. Like I'm in a lot of pain. And then the doctor's like, okay, you gotta make a circle with each one of your fingers and not let me break it, you know? So he'd go like that. He'd be like, don't let me break it. And then he was trying hella hard. And he was doing them all. Oh, okay, that one's strong. He's like, all right, now lay on the bed and try to get up. And I lay down flat. I was like, okay. Because I wanted to leave, you know? I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. He's like, I went to get up. I was like, and he's like, oh shit, Brody, fuck. You really went for that shit. And I was just like, well, fuck, I want to get out of here. And he was just like, all right, I'm going to sign you out. Like, if you're want to get out of here that bad, you're not ready to, but if you're that fucking motivated to try. I'm like, all right, fuck. And it hurt so bad. Like, I was like holding onto his shoulders, like, fucking, don't let me fall. And then fucking, he's like, I'm gonna bring the nurse in here. She gotta take that catheter out. I was like, fuck, it's been there for 21 days. I was like, fuck. She gets down on my knees. Like, I got real close with this black lady. She was hella cool.
21 days?
Yeah, I was in there for 21 days, and she was my nurse. She would come in, and I was always never need anything. She'd be like, well, I'm supposed to really fuck with you for like an hour, but you never want none. But if I leave here, I have to go do work.
Yeah.
But since you're like just chilling, can I kick it with you in your room for like an hour? Because I'm supposed to chill with you for like an hour. Like I'm supposed to use an hour for every patient that I had. And she was like, but you're always like good, and I really don't know what to do after. But if I leave here, I'm gonna have to go to the next lady. She's gonna need all kinds of shit. But she was like, can I kick it on the end of your bed and watch TV with you? And I'd be like, oh yeah, it's cool. At first I was all shy. She was like, I'll help you take a shower. I was like, no, it's cool, I got it. She's like, oh, you're gonna need help. I'm like, no, I got it. And then like 3 days later, I was like, she walked in, I was like, all scared. I was trying to cover myself. She's like, it's okay, I'll get paid for this. You know, I deal with hella old people all day. And like, you're more my age, so this is more better for me, you know, if you really want to know. Like, I have to look at old people and shit. And I'm just like, well, fuck, all right. And then I would just let her help me clean myself. She'd spray the water while I like scrub my arm, because I couldn't lift my arm. So I'd like hold it up and like wash underneath my arm and shit, and then she'd spray, and I was like, fuck. And it hurt hella bad. And she was the one that had to take that catheter out. She got down and she's like, Brody, please don't punch me, but I'm gonna hurt you hella bad right now. She's like, you think you've been going through pain? Oh, this is gonna hurt hella. It's gonna burn, and it's gonna feel like, because there's a ball of fluid in your bladder. We filled it up with this fluid, and it closes your bladder to where when all the fluid comes in, it goes into this little thing, and then it comes out that tube. So it never fills up your bladder. So it's like your bladder's always been expanded. So I got used to that. She was like, so when I take that fluid out, it's gonna shrink, and that's gonna hurt, because all that space, all your body's gonna fill that void in. I was like, fuck. She started pulling that fucking fluid out. I was like, oh shit, and I really wanted to hit her. I was like, I had to like stop myself, like, oh, don't. I was like, fuck. I was screaming so loud there. My mom's like, fuck, Brody. She fucking pulled that fucking wire out, and right at the end, like a bunch of yellow piss come flying out. And she put like a rag on the top of my private, and she's holding it, and I'm peeing as it's coming out. I start peeing, and she's holding the rag, and there's pee flying out this way. She's like jumping out the way. She's like, oh my God. And I was just like, fuck. And I was laying there like, fuck, man, why would they do that? Why would you guys, who invented this way? I would have rather had a diaper or like a bedpan or something.
My girl be having to do those.
Yeah, that hurt me so bad, yeah, and I was like, fucking, I was all fucked up. I was like shaking, like I went through trauma. I remember they wheeled me out, they had to wheel you out in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you to fall in
They
them.
wheeled me over my surgery.
That lady was all sad. She was like, I'm gonna miss you, man. I was like, no, it's cool, I'll never forget you. I'll make sure when I tell the story, I tell the people about it.
Wonder where she's at now.
Yeah, she's probably still there. She was hella cool, but that shit fucked me up. And I went and stayed at Walter's house for like a month, and they helped me put my socks on and helped me fucking get in and out of the car. Sometimes I would need help because my knee was so fucked up. I was all fucked up. I didn't take no more pills. The one time I took the pills was when I was in there. They gave me my prescription. I never went and filled it because I didn't want to. Like, because that's what happened. I was so cloudy from the first injection in that ambulance that I was all fucked up on medication the whole time. And then they used to come in every 12 hours and give me morphine, and every 4 hours they give me lower tabs. And then one day they came in, and she didn't watch me take the morphine. She just set it down. And I never took it. And then like 4 hours went past my every 12 hours, and I was in hella pain. I was like, oh fuck, I'm hurting. I'm way more fucked up than I realized. Them pills are strong. And then I was like, fuck, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like the cloud started kind of going away. And I was like, wait, I'm in the hospital? Still? Fuck, they're fucking just billing the fuck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get the fuck out of here. They keep feeding me these pills.